I saw Howard the Duck. Steve, you saw
Cannibal the Musical.
And Charlie, you saw
12 rounds extreme cut unrated.
Oh, fuck. Well, I guess we'll find out who wins on the other side of this.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Shannon. All on Movie Versus!
Hey, everybody. My name is Tyler Lamb. Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. I am joined by my co-host, Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going?
I'm a little stressed out because I'm taking some summer classes and there is zero direction
Yeah,
and a lot of stuff to do.
It's just pottery, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And in that other class, aren't you just building balsa wood bridges
Also, no.
for like 3 months and that's it?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I can give you some dance lessons. It'd be fine.
Okay.
Dancing is really the key.
None of these are the classes that I'm taking. So none of these are helpful suggestions.
Are you taking organic chem?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's past that.
Yeah.
And
Organic crumping.
and then the professor of organic crumping is here with us. Charlie Pixley, what's up, Chuck?
I'm not into that fake,
You have a doctorate?
that Monsanto crumping.
Yeah, no, you don't want any MSG in your crumping.
Yeah.
That's one thing that
Although genetically modified crumping could be badass.
it could be, but that's one thing I learned in your class early on was that you had to be pure and vegan. And,
I guess we lost our Monsanto sponsorship. They were paying us a lot
Oh yeah,
to stay quiet.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. We were paying us a lot to make sure we didn't mention them. And then
that would be a super lucrative for us.
It would be, and Charlie ruined it.
Yeah, we ruined all of it.
And the dance expert himself that you just heard a little bit ago, that is Garret Welker of 3 Wise Radio. How's it going, Garret?
It's going good, dude.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice having you.
Yeah, it's great to finally be here with you guys.
Yeah, you were the missing puzzle piece of the 3 Wise Radio guest hosts.
Yeah.
We have now had all of you, the trifecta.
Yeah, now we just got to get Steve on our show.
Exactly, and then you guys have the trifecta as well. Do we get some type of like sweet powers if we do that? Like, is this like a Triforce scenario?
I'm gonna be the one that turns into something water based, aren't I?
I feel like we need to get that three. We gotta good bad or bad in on that too, so we can have the three.
Yeah, and then
Perfect
then
square.
I mean now our buddies over at Beyond the Blast Doors or whatever. I mean he's
so he's counting for that 3.
Now it's a pentagon.
Yeah.
perfect. So we can finally summon.
I passed
They're
geometry.
going to say solve the pentagon.
No, that'll never be solved.
We already know.
Exactly. It's well then wouldn't it have been solved? So on this episode, like mentioned earlier, well actually it's a little bit different than past. I didn't mention it in the cold open. We're defending movies that that we recognize are bad, are viewed as bad by others, and we're going to defend those.
Because we actually love them.
Your guilty pleasures.
I mean, I'm not
guilty.
Yeah, I don't feel bad at all. I mean, I have, as you saw, Garret walking. I have the vinyl of Howard the Duck, and in my last apartment, which it's downstairs currently, but I have a poster of Howard the Duck with
It's framed.
His first appearance, his first story, and his first solo issue. Nice. But yeah, no, it's I have 2 copies of the DVD because I got one, and then Charlie found one super cheap, like at a flea market or something. I was like, oh shit, yeah.
I just saw a foot sticking out of the egg in like one of those huge things at Walmart, and I just grabbed it out and didn't even look at the rest of it to see what it was. I just put it in.
And so
assumed it was correct. It could have been one of the later Land Before Times.
No.
I was gonna say that TV show Dinosaurs one of the seasons. But so now I have an unopened copy of Howard the
I was
Duck
gonna
as well.
say the first porn parody too, but
also-
the movie kind of counts for that too.
Yeah, that's right. I also got because they're like not the mama. But we were talking about dinosaurs, right?
You were talking about dinosaurs.
You were talking about Land Before Time.
For what?
No.
Anyway.
He was talking
about Howard the
exclusively
Duck.
about Howard the Duck.
Oh, I thought we were still on dinosaurs. Anyway,
We were never on dinosaurs.
I also got real drunk one night, surprise, and bought an unopened VHS copy of Howard the Duck. So I would say it's no. I'm not guilty. I am guilty.
Where's your fucking laser disc?
They didn't make one. You're telling me you don't think I
You
looked
could
into
have
that?
one
No,
made.
you didn't have them printed?
You could have one made.
I should. But yeah, because usually like laser discs of those movies had like special features that
Yeah.
so that's why I was like super bummed. Anyway,
Should have a bunch of those Kodak carousel slides. Every frame of it.
He was like spinning.
I saw Howard the Duck. If you haven't been able to put that together by now, Charlie, you saw 12 Rounds, the John Cena joint, and then Steve, you saw Cannibal,
Cannibal
the musical, which is a Matt Stone, Trey Parker joint.
Correct. Except in the film, Trey Parker is listed in the acting role as Juan Schwartz.
Lon Schwartz.
Okay then. Well, I guess we may hear more about that later. I don't know. Garrett, at this point, we tend to just hand over the reins of the cast to the person who is the judge.
Okay.
So here you go. Here,
right.
here are the reins. They're not fake.
you, thank
They're
you,
we
thank you.
actually have reins. I've been
The production value on this podcast is that's why it's such a blow that we lost that Monsanto contract.
Yeah, I know we've been using it for good. Go ahead, Garrett. What do you got?
So I went and
yeah.
watched the trailers today, and I'm actually going to go and start with you, Tyler, because the Howard the Duck trailer seemed the most cryptic, I guess. It didn't really like reveal a lot, but it was just like
okay.
so. Go ahead and give me a brief little summary,
I thought mine was the most
plot
cryptic.
synopsis.
So in Howard the Duck, as pretty much all the trailer tells you is he lives in a duck world and he gets transported to the human world. So we already know that.
Is it a duck blur?
It is a duck blur. What is that? That's another podcast, Steve. That you're.
Oh no, that's just the theme song from DuckTales.
Oh yeah, and it's a duck blur. It's a duck blur is a DuckTales based podcast where they just talk about DuckTales.
I just walked into that because of my love of that theme song.
Yeah, sure.
So he ends up there and he runs into after a bunch of antics of him being a duck in a human world. He runs
Does he have
into
to solve a mystery?
no, he
Does
does
he have
not.
to rewrite history?
And so he runs into Beverly, played by Leah Thompson, the beautiful Leah Thompson. And they
Charlie's lukewarm on Leah Thompson.
I didn't say anything.
They end up, sharing some like despair and stuff like that for a little bit. Howard actually uses his quack foo to beat up some thugs and save Beverly. I almost said Hillary. And
Hillary Duff's in this movie too.
oh God, I
Is there
wish.
anything this movie doesn't
Instant
have?
win right there.
Yeah.
Hillary Duff.
But it also has her sister,
Ooh,
Other Duff.
Haley Duff.
There you go. No, and no Duff appears in
It
this
actually
movie.
just
Is
has,
this this movie actually Napoleon Dynamite?
it actually just has Gordo from Lizzie McGuire playing every other character.
Yeah, as Gordo.
Yes.
And so he goes. She kind of is like, well, I have a place you can stay at. Like, you can just come back with me, whatever. So he stays
Because
back
when a
at.
crazy duck uses kung fu to save me.
Well, and she sees that he's by himself. She kind of feels bad. She's like,
Shoot
hey,
that thing.
I got a place you can stay at. So he stays there. Then she brings him to like a scientist friend who goes absolutely bonkers about it. And is like, oh, I can actually get scientist stuff, because he turns out he's actually just like an intern or something. And so Howard's like, well, fuck this. Like, you're just using me to do whatever. Like, I'm just gonna go out on my own. So he gets a job, and that doesn't go well. So he ends up going into a bar where Beverly's band is playing, and he kind of has an encounter with the band manager, and he realizes that Beverly's getting screwed over by the manager. Like, oh, he's taking all the money, so he beats them up. and then becomes their band manager. And he kind of like
Violence isn't the answer, Howard the Duck.
he reconciles with Beverly, and they are like, hey, you should be our band manager. And so he starts doing that, and then so the reason he was brought into Earth was because of this like machine that was used by these scientists. That it was like an interdimensional type machine, and it brought him back. And so they're like, hey, we know where that is. We can take you to it. And it ends up malfunctioning, and the guy who was the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, off the top of my head, I can't remember his character's name. I just know he went to jail for like some child pornography or something. Jeffrey Jones. Bam, got it. Jeffrey Jones's character.
It's a good thing you went through all of that before getting to his name.
Exactly.
I hope that's the right name, so it's not the wrong person. So I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, one of our fans who happens to have that name.
We got a lot of sway.
Yes, yeah. Judge will listen to this podcast and be like, guilty.
Guilty.
But they use it and it malfunctions, and pretty much down the line you learn that he kind of got possessed by this otherworldly overlord, pretty much. And he's like, he's using Jeffrey Jones's body just as a vessel to be like, hey, we're gonna come back. We're gonna.
Sorry, I just imagine him using that as the defense.
Your Honor, I was clearly used as a vessel.
Like how bad
And
would that?
the
like,
judge is like, oh, we got to throw this out. Mistrial. He was used as a vessel.
2 hours of evidence.
Oh god.
And so they end up back at the place and get the thing working, but Jeffrey Jones, his evil character or whatever, is able to get it working to bring more of these overlords into Earth to take over. And it comes down to Howard has to make a choice to pretty much just. I mean, do you want me to do spoilers full on? Or do you want
we can say that a little bit for
Okay,
this
well then
40-year-old film.
Well, then, as far as like Howard has to make a choice whether or not he should destroy the thing, or if he should, because that's his only way back home.
Yeah.
And then also dealing with his friends that he made there, especially Beverly, and how he's helped her out, and how she's helped him, and stuff like that. And, and yeah.
Okay, actually, it's only 30 years old. I figured I should.
Yeah, it was like the
rectify that,
80s.
Considering it's like
And
probably
I
the year
believe
I was born.
I believe Wikipedia has it listed. Hold on, let me check real quick. Yeah,
It's going to be my.
it says right here George Lucas's finest film. So
Yeah.
highest grossing. Yeah, so it's.
No,
right.
that settles it.
I had a quick question. I'm familiar from what you've told me of the Quack Fu, but does he ever do Quack Street Brawl?
No, he still calls that just Quack Fu.
Oh, okay.
He does
I didn't know if he bust out the lead pipe
Well, no,
or
he does Quack Street Ball.
No, that's
which
for
is when he played.
That's
Yeah,
different.
exactly. I'm just
Charlie,
clarifying
the
that
lead pipe is for that sexy scene with Leah Thompson.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
where he lays it down.
All right. Steve, we'll go to you then.
Okay, the quick synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie starts off with a disclaimer that it's inspired by a true story of Alfred Packer, the first charged cannibal in Colorado. And
As in, he was the first cannibal to ever be tackled.
yes,
Okay.
no, he was charged because his feet weren't moving in basketball,
Okay.
and so he got some free throws.
Gotcha.
So he's the first ever person that was charged with cannibalism in the United States, actually, maybe. But
Okay.
it starts off with a disclaimer that says the violence has been removed for your viewing pleasure, and then immediately launches into the most violent scene in the entire movie.
Oh,
where it's
wonderful.
It's a dramatization of what the lawyer is saying happened in the woods, of him killing the people in his party and eating them in this crazed ravaging where he's like he tears someone's arm off and then beats someone else with it, and then he proceeds to tear someone's tongue out and eat it, and he goes through all this, and then it cuts to the courtroom and someone's like, oh, gross. and then he's like, that's not what happened, and then it launches into the opening music. And so it starts off with them in the courtroom, and then most of the journey is done in flashback of him talking to a reporter in prison after, like, in between parts of the trial.
Okay.
So it starts off, and he's not going to talk. And someone's like, if you want to get him to talk, ask him about Leanne. So she comes in, and she talks to him about Leanne. And pretty soon we find out that Leanne's not a woman, and Leanne is his horse, who he loves. But he does not make it clear. Like, at the very beginning, it sounds like a woman until it's very clear that it's a horse. So he's in Utah with some people trying to find some gold during like the gold rush era.
I'm sorry, but are you sure it was a horse and not just Sarah Jessica Parker?
No, it was actually a horse.
Okay.
But the horse is apparently a metaphor for like one of his old girlfriends, because if you listen to the commentary, he gets real drunk and starts calling this woman a whore. It's
okay.
awesome. He just like breaks down.
Nice.
It's awesome.
And she left me for my best friend. You know that's a horse, right?
No, the horse leaves him for some trappers.
Oh.
But
Great.
so he's in Utah, and this group they lose their guide because they were gonna take into Colorado from Utah, led by Lucky Larry. And as they're going to like find Lucky Larry, he passes by them in a stretcher, charred to a crisp because he was struck by lightning the night before.
I was gonna say because he didn't have the high ground.
Yeah.
But, okay. Clearly he did because he got struck by lightning.
So
Man.
he gets volunteered.
Highest of grounds.
He gets volunteered to take them back to Colorado by someone who heard that he was from Colorado. So he kind of gets this small group together, and they head that way, and they run into some trappers, some Indians, which I'm gonna save that surprise for later.
All right.
And some general just they run into a cyclops in the mountains, and then there's a lot of just dealing with the snow in the winter, and then what kind of drives them to become cannibals the first time, and then how it all kind of spirals out of control,
Okay.
and culminating in the verdict of him at the very end.
I just want to head this before it might be. You mean Native Americans or?
You'll find out.
Oh.
Dude,
Oh.
knowing them-
Okay. Well,
Dude.
shit. Maybe.
Knowing them, it's got to be a bunch of like turban-wearing, stereotypical actual Indians, and they're like, "Look, Indians!" And, just out in the middle of the West.
Oh, you'll see.
Yeah, you
That's
got
like
a
classic
point.
South Park.
Yeah, just like a misdirect and also like so stereotypical at the same
Yes.
time. Yeah. Damn.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I will say it's stereotypical, but I'm not going to tell you exactly how yet.
Okay. All right. Sorry if I
Oh no,
ruined
you're
a
fine.
little-
You're fine.
All right, Charlie. How about you? What's
Okay, so I won't go through all 12 rounds, and well, maybe I will later.
Can you hit us with a good
Well,
one?
I'm
through
gonna,
six
I'm
to
gonna
lay the
take him
groundwork?
up to the point of where he comes up with the idea of to put him through these 12 rounds. Okay. So John Cena plays Danny Fisher. He's a new
Is it
cop.
difficult watching a movie where you cannot see the lead?
was
My
this
bad. John Cena plays a Marine.
was this John Cena's first movie?
No, the Marine was before this.
Okay.
Wow, you're defending this movie to somebody who doesn't even know anything.
That means he's pure.
Okay, so this movie takes place in New Orleans, which in itself is kind of cool that it's not just like New York or something. It's not full big skyscrapers, and there are a few, but it's got some different scenery because a lot of it takes place in like the French Quarter and stuff. So it's a lot of older style housing and everything.
This is kind of a
So-
different setting for
Yeah. So he's
action movies.
a new
but-
cop out on the job with his partner, just out on patrol, and they get called in from some, just from their dispatch, saying like, "Hey, the FBI's here and they need help." And they're obviously like, "What the fuck are they doing here in New Orleans?" So we figure out that the FBI is there looking for Miles. I was gonna say Teller. Miles Jackson, or CIA, the guy who plays the CIA guy in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
He's in Game of Thrones. He's Littlefinger in Game.
yeah,
Yeah, and
okay.
he's like, "I'm CIA" at the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of inner bureau anger
I
here.
think he's in the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, he's in the best scene.
So you can remember, or you can imagine him being like, "Oh, Donnie, you don't know what's coming to you, Donnie." So
Is it Donnie
exactly what
or
he's-
Danny?
it's Danny.
Okay.
but he says
No. I was just double checking because I
It
know.
sounds like he's saying Donnie.
I
His,
figured.
his character sounded very Irish in the trailer.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What is he?
I think he's.
I think he is. He might be Irish.
I think he's Haitian.
Wait, did you say Asian or Haitian?
Haitian.
Yes. Both.
Yeah, both. You're right. Garrett knows. So anyway, he's like this criminal mastermind.
I just want to point out there was a moment there when Charlie said, somebody said, "What is he?" Was it you, Charlie? Or
Yeah.
And Charlie and I looked at each other where we were both like, I could tell both of us were trying to figure out a joke to make about. I just wanted to share that with the listeners.
Share that little blurb of a moment.
So this is the second time the FBI has ever caught this dude out in public. And well, they haven't caught him yet, but they're just following him, and they're like, holy shit, he's made a public appearance. So they're going over the list of what this guy's done, just to give you an idea. He's brought down a 747, killed everybody on board. Just blew
Oh
it up.
shit! So this is a sequel to The Dark Knight Rises.
He blew up the U.S. embassy in Germany. He decapitated his own brother for messing up one of his heists.
Jesus.
Yeah, so this is a bad dude. So
Wait, bad dude like in the video game Bad Dudes?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
That's an old NES game.
Okay.
Okay, so the FBI is using these two guys that he used to work with to kind of pull him out into public and try and trick him. So the FBI gets those guys to track him down. Those guys flip the deal on the FBI, and they then take Miles for themselves. And they're like, hey, FBI, you let my fucking brother out of prison, or else you're never getting Miles. And they're like, oh, shit. Then those guys and Miles get in the back of the van, and then you figure out that those two then were actually working together the whole time. So it's already a triple cross. And then Miles is like, you guys are so stupid to think that I would have done this anyway. So that he quadruple crosses them already within like the first 5 minutes and kills them.
I forgot about that.
So are any of these rounds even?
No.
The
John
movie has-
Cena's not even there
This
yet.
is actually the the pre-movie text on the screen.
It's all written out. So anyway, John Cena and them finally get there because they're just trying to help out. And at this point, Miles has gotten a chick to bring like a getaway car, and he's got this big briefcase full of diamonds and everything. So John Cena tracks him down, catches him, and he doesn't even know who this guy is. He doesn't know he's an international criminal or anything. So he's just he lost his gun during pursuit. So he's out there and he pushes a boat because he's John Cena and he's strong as fuck.
On land.
He pushes
Yes.
the boat or he just picks it up?
Yes. He pushes the boat out in front of the car, so it crashes. They lose their guns. So nobody has any guns or anything.
So
And
now it's
they're-
just mano y mano with John Cena involved?
Oh, shit.
yeah, but he's like he's going towards a gun, and John Cena's going for his too. Like, you know, they're scattered and everything. And the girlfriend then, he's telling her like, hey, you know, you gotta run, get out of here, blah blah blah. So as soon as she immediately steps onto the road, another car just goes and plows and kills her.
Oh my god.
And then this guy's like, fuck you, Danny. He's like, I'm gonna come back for you.
He
no
already
matter
knows
what.
his name.
Well, he has like
Oh,
his police.
okay,
He
okay.
says Detective Fisher, or Officer
Officer
Fisher. Yeah. So he's like, I'm coming back for you. This is your fault. That whole thing, and then
It's already. Why did he let the
I like
girl
that
go?
I like that his
to run away
plan-
with the diamonds so he could like take on.
Oh! You were saying that CIA Miles or whatever told the girl to run.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were saying John Cena
No,
was
my
telling
bad,
the girl
my
to
bad.
run.
There's-
Oh, okay,
there's
that's why.
Run. I'm giving you
Yeah,
a chance.
yeah, that's
right
why.
now.
That's why I was like, why is he just
Before
like,
I just
yeah,
destroy
yeah?
you.
He was like,
No,
you're good.
I just like
You're
that-
good. I want the guy.
I just like that it's all undone by like probably it's timed down to the minute, and it's just John Cena like slowly pushing a boat into traffic.
No, it was on a trailer, so he like pushed it
Oh.
free.
Gotcha.
And that was all improv. That wasn't on the script.
No props either.
Their
Those were solid.
their boat budget got way out of control.
It was his go-to.
They were like, use
like-
the gun.
Yeah, they're like,
We
John.
have
John in this.
squibs,
John in this
Cena."
scene. In this scene, we want you to improv, and he just always found a boat. And they're like, God damn it.
All right, I'm gonna take you up to the first round. So after that, Miles gets captured. It's 1 year later. John Cena and his partner have been promoted to detective, and he goes home. And it's just a normal day with he and his wife. They just moved into their new house. She leaves for work. Danny's getting his badge and his gun. He gets a call, and it's Miles, and he's like, "Hey, you remember me? This is Miles." And he's like, "Yeah, you're in prison." He's like, "No, and I just watched your wife shower." And he's like, "Oh fuck!" So he runs out of the house because
Ding.
exactly. So he runs out of the house and he's like, "Where is she?" You know, but well, she just left like 2 minutes beforehand, so he must have grabbed her just right when she got outside and took off. And he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to play these rounds with me if you ever want to see her again." And then blows up his car. And as he runs away from that, because it's parked like right out front, so he runs out into the street. Then he blows up his house immediately, and he's like,
Good thing he didn't go to the safety of his home from the explosion.
Well, he was positioned in a way that it wouldn't make sense,
Yeah,
and he's like, "That was round 1. You've got 11 more." And it's like,
It was
"Oh,
always
fuck, here we
it
go."
always kind of bothered me how in Fast and Furious 7 they just stole that whole house blow up thing
Yeah.
from 12 rounds. But
And
Yeah.
every other movie ever.
And
that
there was
stole
a
it from
plumber.
12 rounds,
There was a
yeah.
plumber in
Oh,
there too, so he got fucked.
Oh no!
no, dude, he blew up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that's the beginning of the rounds, and then it's his just hectic thing of getting with the whole police department and the FBI and everything like that, and they start going through the rounds
How did he get out after just a year? If he's an
Good
international,
behavior.
because he's an international criminal, so he's got all connections and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
He wasn't let out.
Good behavior. I just like the idea that this international criminal. You know what? Miles has
probably was-
actually been pretty good.
Dude, really, he probably was
He's up-
let out though.
He's
in
up for
that
his year review.
if he just made calls and was like, "I'll have somebody just blow up your entire family,"
Oh, yeah,
in
that's actually
every
true.
spot of the world, it doesn't matter. And then they're
no,
just
he was like, "You're gonna have to play these 12 rounds with me."
to everybody.
They're always the same too.
That's where he got the idea.
Okay. He's workshopping. Charlie just crossed out his first page of notes.
Well, that was just like the detail of the setup of why these things happen. Then
Well,
it's easier
I
to
know-
just go into like, we're in round time. Boom, 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 boom.
Well,
boom,
I
boom.
know Charlie read off that sheet for all of those things that Miles did. Like,
Yes.
He also had all his jokes written down as well.
No.
Wow, how do you Haitian?
Oh my hand.
Okay, I guess we'll go into a little bit of questions then. How many drinks does Howard have in this movie?
How many
12
drinks? Oh shit! Well, then I should have made sure to rewatch it before.
You didn't watch this?
Well, not. I'll have to admit, not before today. Man, probably not that many actually. He probably only has. I know that he asks for a beer at a restaurant they're at with Beverly and Jeffrey Jones, and that's a pretty funny scene because that's when like Jeffrey Jones like is recently possessed, and he's like, "I will destroy all of the," and they're like, "Yeah, whatever." Anyway, Howard, what? And they just keep like just totally ignoring him, and he's like, "Nah," like it's really like the weirdest performance from somebody. And they're just like, shut up.
so it's like Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black.
yeah, exactly. It's like it's almost as if, Jay and I forget Will Smith's character.
Kay.
Jay and Kay went out to lunch with Vincent D'Onofrio's character before they knew he was. The roach, and they're just like, shut up. Anyway, I know he asked the waitress if they have
Here's
any.
your sugar. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, just get the. Anyway,
What is his drink of choice?
he always just says, "Do you have a beer?" Like he just says beer. He doesn't have like a specific like. The movie starts out with him.
He likes Goose Island IPA.
I would say.
I would think you would hate that.
Yeah, well, he's not a goose. He's a duck.
I know. That's why you would hate it.
He gets real. No, he drinks it and gets real uppity about the whole situation.
Sure.
I know he pops a beer at the very opening of the movie when it's showing all the like. All the duck in jokes, like the Indiana Jones and the Quackers of the Crusade or whatever it is, and the I don't know all
That's
those
racist.
like all those like duck puns. He cracks a beer open when he's like sitting down on the couch. I think he asked for a beer at Beverly's, and I think he asked for a beer at the restaurant. So I'm gonna say 3 at least.
Okay.
That he at least asked for.
Okay.
I don't know if he ever got the beer at the restaurant.
I just always know that like that's a Howard the Duck like calling card is.
Yeah,
Drinking.
especially in that movie, it's kind of a recurring. I mean, he does it at least 3 times, so it's I don't remember what that rule's called, but he.
I think it's called a pattern.
I think it's no. I think in the film world they call it Chekhov's gun.
alcoholism. Oh,
All right.
No, I thought Chekhov's gun was when they like.
Show something they're gonna use.
Yeah,
it later.
no,
Yeah.
it was a joke.
Chekhov's rum.
Now that's a joke.
All right, we're just gonna get these
Fuck you,
quantity.
Steve.
We're gonna get these quantity questions out of the way. Charlie,
12.
That's what I was. It's in the title.
I was gonna ask, how many cars get crashed or totaled in
Oh
this
fuck,
movie?
dude! I don't know. I don't know. That's like when
Yeah, he's
somebody
asking
asked
impossible
Steve
questions.
how many cars got
How
crashed in
many
the Bourne
boats?
movie. Like fuck.
How many boats got crashed?
We can narrow it down to boats.
Charlie, I think that was you that asked him that.
Maybe. No, you asked because I went. Oh shit.
There
Let's
were
see.
so many cars.
Yeah, it was probably me.
One boat, one trolley, and then hella cars. So many cars.
All right.
Wait, was that trolley?
How many-
Was that another thing that John Cena pushed into traffic?
You'll see.
How many cars did John Cena physically destroy
Like as if he was driving in another one, or
No.
just with his hands.
with his hands?
Some. I know he kicked the FBI car at one point and it dented the shit out of it. So that's not destroyed, but
All right.
I-
it would be
I would
bothersome.
count that.
And I'll shoot this quantity question to you. How many people actually got eaten?
Okay, so it starts off like one person dies, like he gets shot. Like one of the guys with him is a preacher, and they're walking along, and Matt Stone's character goes, "Hey, look out for that bear trap!" And he immediately steps in that bear trap. And so he ends up. It takes him a good like 3 or 4 tries to get this bear trap off, in which they like pull it almost down and it re-snaps. But it ends up getting infected. And that guy starts to go crazy. He's the preacher, and he starts really going off. And they're all in a really bad place. They're all getting real bad frostbite. And one of the characters, Swan, decides to lift everyone's spirit. So he sings a song about building the snowman. And he builds a snowman, and he like digs this giant hole, and he's in it, and he's tap dancing. One of the characters eventually even mentions, how the fuck does he tap dance? Because he's in a snow pole.
Yeah.
And so he makes a snowman, and after the song's over, one of the other guys just destroys the snowman because he's like, "Fuck you, no one's happy right now." But later on, it's getting even worse, and he's about to start up the snowman song again, and the preacher just shoots him in the head. And so once he's dead, they're all like, "Well, he's already dead. He's not gonna get more alive." We need to survive. Let's eat him. So
This is
That's-
after
that's
they're out of
exact-
food
hey,
by this point, right?
That's like
Yeah.
pretty much exactly what I said to you at our friend's wake.
yeah.
He's already dead. We might as well eat him.
No.
Just so everybody knows, I don't think Steve and I have a friend, a mutual friend that has died that we've
Not
been
that
to
I'm
a
aware
wake.
of.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I went that route. But
Okay.
I guess it wasn't that funny. Jeez, I thought it was pretty fucking
So
hilarious.
he's the original. Then later on, they get more lost, and Trey Parker's character goes off to like see if they can see someone. And when he returns, the preacher has killed the other 3 men that were with him. And it's funny because he shows up. One of their heads is clearly crushed with a rock. One of them's got like a hatchet in their groin, and then like the other one, something else has happened, and like Trey Parker's just like, "Hey guys, what's up?" like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Just completely
Oblivious to it.
yeah. And the guy comes back and he's like, "They attacked me, so I had to kill him. You know what I had to do?" He's like, "I'm pretty sure that you didn't." And then that proceeds on to a big fight where he ends up having to kill him several times. He hits him in the face with a hatchet, stabs him in the eye with a stick, shoots him in the head, and then hits him in the chest with a pickaxe. And all like
Where's he getting all these weapons?
they were minors. They were just laying around.
The gun was just laying around.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, it's
back
yeah.
And so he ends up,
And today.
and then there's like a snowstorm in the Rockies, so he ends up eating all 4 of them to survive through the winter. So, and I don't know like who he eats of what on the longer period, but I think they made it implied that he kind of like went through the good eaten bits of everybody. So essentially, 5 people were eaten.
All
Wait,
right.
5 or
10
And,
balls.
and you said earlier this is a prequel to the movie The 33.
No.
Oh, well,
7 pounds.
You said that they were all minors.
Wait, no,
I
no,
thought
hold on.
that-
No, I think there were 4 people were eaten.
Okay.
Because I think there were 5 of them together. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just an adaptation of that
Yes.
same story of the 33
Yes.
miners that got trapped inside of the
And
mine.
yeah.
How prevalent is the singing in this? Like
There's a lot of songs.
50%, 70%?
It's not like an opera or anything like that, but like it's probably, I would say there's probably a good 10 to 15 minutes worth of songs.
Okay.
And to
Maybe
piggyback,
probably more.
to piggyback off of that, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I feel like that's kind of Matt Stone, Trey Parker's actual wheelhouse, is making like comedy
like
music
songs.
stuff.
Well, because there's
I
a
think
song at the beginning that there's probably like a good at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised that there's, because I mean, when I saw Book of Mormon, I mean, like a lot of musicals, it was almost mostly songs. There were like obviously scene breaks, but it was very song heavy. So I'm not surprised that they.
Okay.
And even in South Park the movie, like, that's pretty much a musical as well.
Same
Like,
thing with Team America World Police. All of them have a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of a specific song that the
No, I
people
guess
sing.
I guess they don't sing.
Well, yeah, that's true. They
that's
sing the
But
theme
they
song.
made it wasn't necessarily a musical, but they made the songs. for
Freedom's a Bucko 5.
Yeah, that's right. And the montage song,
Yeah.
Freedom's a Bucko 5. Yeah, you already said everyone has AIDS.
America.
And yeah, Garrett's the theme song. So yeah, that's
Okay. Is it
movie's
good
so
music?
good.
Is it decent
I
at least?
I really like it's that kind of music that I don't know if it's necessarily good outside of the context, but it's so good for what it is that like when you hear it, you still smile, like you still laugh about the movie and all the stuff around it.
Okay.
I mean, but it's still solid. It's just not like, oh my god, this is like a top 20 hit.
Do they find any gold?
No,
I know it's like the trailer's like they were on the hunt for gold.
no, they didn't.
Didn't find it.
No,
They
no,
got lost.
not even a little gold.
Okay.
not even a
They
nug.
found a whole
Not-
new
not a
palette
single
of
nug.
flavors.
Tyler, I'm gonna hop over to you.
Mm.
How frequently does Howard get laid? How often does it happen in this movie?
Whenever he wants it.
In this movie, he technically never gets laid once.
Oh, okay.
He never
That's a real
once.
letdown.
He never once has any sexual relations with anybody.
What does happen between him and Lady Thompson?
Does he find love?
Do you mean love like
What
sexual
ducks
love or
call,
like?
Like love.
I mean, I would say that by the end he loves
Beer.
Leah Thompson's character, but I don't know if it's a like I want
Romantic
to
love?
romantic love. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a romantic love, but he definitely cares for her.
Platonic love.
Yeah, I think it's a friendship and that it's
It could go somewhere.
Pure
if,
animal
if you
lust.
want to, if you want me to go into details about the scene that I'm assuming you're bringing up, Leah Thompson does come on to
no, but he's the gentleman.
Charlie, you're acting like you haven't seen this movie. There's a scene
He's
where
the gentle
No, you
duck.
just
Well,
didn't finish your sentence.
there's a scene where Howard is kind of like flirting with Beverly, and she starts flirting back, but I don't think he expected that. And then she starts like coming on to him like pretty strongly, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And because I think he was kind of just like joking around, and she was too, but she was being like,
But he's like,
"Oh
I'm in-
yeah, okay, let's do it. How do we even?" And he's like, wait, no,
I'm in way over my head.
yeah. And then like a bunch of like all the scientist people walk in. They see like the silhouette
When the
of her.
scientists are in there.
Jeffrey Jones, and then oh my God, what's the guy's name that plays the intern? He's like a famous actor now, and never wants to talk about this movie.
I was gonna say Jeffrey Jones probably
it's
saw
Tim
the
Robbins.
height and then was
Wait,
like,
Tim-
ooh,
it's
and
Tim
then
Robbins?
realized it was
Yeah,
Duck.
Tim Robbins is the like intern guy, and it's Jeffrey Jones. And they walk in, and they just see like the silhouette of Beverly kissing Howard, and they're like, "What in tarnation?"
Wait, please tell me they say what
No,
incarnation.
they don't. But yeah, they kind of walk in, and she's like, "Wait, no, I was kind of just like fucking with Howard," and he's like, "I don't even know what's going on." But that's what that scene is about. It is, even though I will admit, even though that she was joking, it is kind of like weird because you're like, this is a duck, and as one character of the movie states,
got that corkscrew penis.
That's a duck,
Oh.
man. That's a duck. Which may be one of the greatest lines in that movie.
Charlie, I'm going to shoot over to you. Does he actually make it all 12 rounds?
Well, yeah. It's John Cena.
He puts-
Come on,
no,
give me
no.
some good
No, he
questions.
puts him down round 8.
John
John
Cena-
I didn't know if he
Just like the Thriller in Manila.
John himself made like during the movie he just made up an extra like 5 other rounds to do before getting his wife back probably.
Before doing this movie, he put on a bulletproof vest and took 12 rounds to the chest. Just to get him
And then,
get him in the right
and then
headspace.
later,
Real
and then,
Curtis Jackson.
and then later, he took 12 rounds of bullets to the chest.
Yes.
Damn.
Gross.
Real Curtis Jackson. No, that was in the face, Charlie. Curtis Jackson got in the face, not in the.
He got shot up everywhere.
I thought it was just the face. That's why he's like, no.
No, if he
That's
got
why he
shot-
sounds like Rocky.
No, if he got shot, what,
No.
7 times in the face, there's no way he would have survived.
I think he got shot at least 5 times in the face.
Oh, I don't
Jesus.
know.
Uh,
was
and
thinking of
you
Joe
guys,
a lot of it was in
you guys talk. I'll
I know
look it
a
up.
lot of it was in
Yeah,
the
but that's
chest.
just because you've seen Get Rich or Die Trying like
I
12
also played
times.
his game
Blood in the sand.
But he wasn't bulletproof.
I know it wasn't. I think that was the joke. I'm not sure, but
No,
like,
he is just proof that bullets, I guess, aren't
Are real.
effective. They don't work very well, I guess.
Yes, that's the lesson to be taken from this.
Don't worry, kids. Bullets aren't that effective.
So feel free to smoke weed and play with guns.
You heard it
You'll
here from
make it.
Steve. That was Steve Janik.
Yeah, Steve Janik said it. He
That-
endorses.
Damn it!
And he encouraged drug use.
Charlie, does this serve as a suitable Shazam prequel / origins?
I would say so, because he's definitely a goddamn hero in this movie.
I just
I thought you were gonna say a cautionary tale for
I
throwing
just-
boats at
I just wanna point out-
international villains.
this is totally off topic, but I'm looking up 50 Cent to see how many times he got shot, and
He got shot 9 times, wasn't it?
No, but I haven't seen it yet. But it says in 2005, Jackson supported President George W. Bush after rapper Kanye West criticized. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny to be like,
Best rap beef
be like,
ever.
50 Cent, Kanye West criticized George Bush. What do you think?
So
I feel like no one asked.
I would say so, because throughout the rounds he has to use a lot of different skills. Like Shazam has, one for each of the gods and stuff. Like in one of the rounds, he basically has to be a firefighter and suit up the gear, because he has some, because his brother is one. So he does that. Another round is just purely a round of wits against Miles. All sorts of things like puzzle solving.
Wait, so this is
different
essentially
things.
Saw,
Uh,
but with like he just has a real hard on for one person.
You'll see.
So yeah, Garrett, you were right. 50 Cent got shot 9 times, and it was in his hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest, and face. His left cheek.
damn.
So he lost a wisdom tooth. So that's less on that surgery. He's got all his.
Sweet, only $750 instead of the usual grand.
Okay. Let's see what else.
So how many times did Seal get shot in the face?
Oh, fuck. Just once as buckshot, though. Correct.
by
That was fucking needlessly mean. Jesus.
well, then I was gonna say by his wife, but I forgot her name.
Heidi Klum?
Yeah, there you go.
Ex-wife now. I
Yeah, exactly. They had a falling out.
think. Yeah.
Tyler, are there
After she shot him.
are there any other Marvel tie-ins in this one?
Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't remember any mention of any other Marvel stuff. But it
He
is.
had all 6 Infinity Stones.
It alludes to the possible Elektra Netflix series.
No, I mean Jennifer Garner does show up, but you don't. It's not. You don't know if she's Elektra or no. In all seriousness, she doesn't. But it is. I'm pretty sure it is like one of the first Marvel movies, at least that was released in theaters. I think the Doctor Strange one we did on a past episode
That was on TV.
That's a TV movie, and there were like good Captain America TV movie. There's a lot of like real shitty like TV Marvel movies. I think all of them, like Thor, Captain America, and Doctor Strange, all had one. But this was
Didn't the Fantastic Four have one? I don't even.
Well,
that might
no.
have not been released.
they had that one movie in like the early '90s that was
This is just
parodied
gonna be a
on
long
Arrested
tangent.
that was parodied on Arrested Development.
Right.
That movie actually existed, but it never was released. You're correct. But that was like the early '90s. But yeah, I think this was the first theatrical release
Probably.
of a Marvel movie.
How
Just
auspicious.
looking at the production quality, it looks like the first one that they put some fucking money in.
Yeah,
like more
exactly.
than $10,000.
Okay.
It was actually $10,001.
My bad. I thought we were gonna go
Still
into
more.
the whole thing of like why 20th Century Fox made that fucking movie and all into that.
Oh
shit.
no, yeah, I heard you said this was a long tangent.
No,
I was like, I feel
said
like
this
I haven't
is
been
g-
talking
no,
about
I said
it
this
that long.
is gonna be if we go into all that. Like, oh fuck.
No, if you want to know all that, just watch season 4 of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
They pretty much cover it,
Yeah.
and everything they say is pretty much true.
Accurate.
And funny.
Steve, so what is it about this time period that is just like inspires cannibalism movies? Because there's another movie. It's called Ravenous, and it actually fits under you guys' the Rotten Tomatoes scores. Check it
We
out.
might have to.
I think it's just because like this is the kind of time where getting to places was not easy. Because they talk about in the movie they actually talk about the Donner Party and how they got trapped and had to eat each other to stay alive, and that's kind of what sparks the whole situation.
Okay.
And I it's mostly because like it's real easy to get lost somewhere and have virtually no hope of getting out and just completely run out of supplies.
That's also the only joke I remember from Patch Adams is when he's the skeleton and he's like, Donna, party of 5 or something like that.
50 because
Yeah,
the
50,
Donner
that's
Party
what it
was a whole bunch.
Yeah. And then there's that other scene where like a dude comes in with a gun and it's not that funny, and neither is the rest of that movie. Anyway. Real hot take on Patch Adams.
Ouch.
Is that the one where Robin Williams is a robot?
No, that's
Yeah,
Centennial Man.
I always get those two
I
confused.
was just-
Bicentennial Man.
I thought you were just asking if Robin Williams is
Is
a
a
robot.
robot.
National Enquirer confirmed that for me.
Exactly.
Would this movie work in another time period?
I don't think so. Only because it's based very loosely on the true story of the guy who was charged with it. But I mean, I think if they would have to change this. Like, it's one of those things where like how horror movies now are doing a lot of things where they're either setting them in further back in time or then like creating a very remote situation where they can't get away, where they don't have contact, and like because it's something that like I was talking about this to someone before. Like nowadays in horror movies, they always have to like address how the cell phone is no longer an option. Like either it's just like the phone dies or something happens. Like you have to see the phone is now off the table.
Yeah.
And in the past, at least, there weren't nearly as many like medical advancements. So if you got an infected leg, it's like,
Yeah.
we might as well eat you.
Well,
You're
yeah,
fucked.
and like there's
Whereas
actually
now it's like,
there's a scene of
just
him
take me to the
cleaning it in the
hospital.
river.
Yeah, oh, great.
Yeah, and you meant just to clarify, I guess for my and just in case anybody else is confused, you meant if the movie took place in a different time period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, like
at first I
just-
thought you
just
meant if it was
because-
released in a different time period. If it, okay.
No, yeah, like so
300
like it
years
could
ago.
probably it could take place even further back too, just because of like the remoteness. But in the future, it would have to be something like in Alive, because they crash in a remote area and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it could work. They just have to like lay the proper foundation in the beginning.
Okay. I'm out of questions until like towards the end, but so
So do you want to hear?
yeah, we'll hear some plot wrap ups.
Okay.
And,
so like ending stuff.
Yeah,
and,
ending stuff.
All right. Who you want
Can
to go
we talk
first?
about too just why we like the movie? Because that's
Yeah,
kind of
I
an
think
easy
I
way
think
to-
we should do that before real thoughts. And I think I was gonna say
that's
this
a
when we
nice
got
way
to the
to
point.
I feel like it will almost be our real.
Well,
thoughts.
yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say. I think when our
do we
real
even have
thoughts,
that?
well, our real thoughts section, I think should be why we think people don't like this movie.
Oh, okay. I like.
I
that
felt
sense.
like that could be
That works.
a
Okay.
thing.
So Steve, I'll stick with you then. Just like, why do you like this movie then?
I like this movie because like the music is fun and catchy and goofy, and they have a word that I don't know if they used it in. I know they used it in basketball. They invented the word spadoinkle in this movie, and they
I
use
didn't
it.
know Matt and Trey did basketball. That's
Oh
wonderful.
yeah.
Okay.
So they kind of invented the word spadoinkle for this, and they kind of use it as just like a place filler. Like they joking like the entire first song is like it's a spadoinkle day. And in the beginning, you're just like, it's like a fun word. And then later on, they use it as just kind of like a filler, like expletive almost, and things like that. And it's just ridiculous and fun. All the music's fun. It does a really good job of kind of poking fun at the musical genre. They kind of go through a there's like a ballet scene interlude of him dreaming about the guy who stole his horse and like him trying to get back his horse through dance. Like it's like a very interpretive sort of thing that happens a lot in musicals, and I always thought that was really funny. And I'll bring up the Indians now. They meet the Indians after they are caught up in the Colorado River, and when you see them from afar, regular Indians. When they get up close, they are clearly Japanese. They get taken to their camp, and like everyone's like they're doing traditional karate.
Their gongs.
All the teepees have the rising sun painted on them, and the preacher's like what tribe are you guys? And the chief's like, we're Indians. and like no, we know you're Indians. What tribe are you? He's like, look at all the teepees we have. We're Indians. And like,
we're not questioning that.
And it's just like this very ridiculous thing.
That's pretty good. That's better than I feel like what Charlie and I both predicted. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it's just one of those things that like when it happens the first time you see it, you're like, why? And I almost believe it's just like, well, we know where to find a bunch of Asian people, so they just hired a bunch of Asian people to do it because they couldn't find enough like Native Americans to be in the roles.
Wow.
At the same time, I could feel in the writing room they would just be like, it'd be funny though, is if when they approached, they were actually Japanese, something like
and
that.
I'd like to see the casting sheet or the call sheet. It's like traditional Native American garb, speak with a traditional Native American accent. Must be Japanese.
No, they don't speak with a traditional Native American accent.
Oh, okay.
They speak with an Asian accent, trying to speak with an.
That's what I mean. Well,
it's so great.
If it's something they were to already have, but I guess it depends on if they actually come from Japan or if they live in
Yeah,
America.
it says all these Native American things. It says must be Asian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And like all the songs are goofy and fun, and I don't know. There's a lot of like quick gags that like when I was watching it, I was almost kind of worried because it's a lot of like really quick jokes. Like when they first meet these trappers that end up taking his horse, they say that his horse is a trapper horse and shouldn't be with no digger. They say that, and I was like, they were really pushing with that whole replacement expletive thing, and I was like, ooh.
Yikes.
There was a D on that word. Everybody who was listening.
Everybody rewound.
Yeah. Like, ugh.
wait a minute.
But he's real concerned about the fact that she's supposedly a trapper's horse, and he's like,
Hey, Steve.
what?
Hold on, sorry. Can you say Nana real quick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to ice.
Yeah, no, I knew you didn't have to tell me. I knew you wanted him to say that, so we had the soundbite of the.
Right. So he's real worried about his horse being for trappers, and like the important thing is that you're good to that horse. He's like, a horse is a horse. He's like, of course. And another guy's like, of course. And they like do the exact timing of the Mr. Ed theme, like, and there's just a lot of those little jokes spread out throughout the movie. Where
almost like Mel Brooks-esque,
yeah.
it sounds like.
There's
hey,
this,
Blinken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene where when they're getting supplies, one of the guys is like, oh, sweet fudge, and he gets fudge, and then like later on in the movie, he's like, Fudge Packer? Because his name's Alfred Packer. And it's just like, just one of those throwaway, just Fudge Packer.
All right. I was gonna say, since we're here, let's go ahead and walk through the end of your movie then.
Okay. The ending is he finds out that the woman who's been talking to him and kind of getting him to talk about everything is a reporter, and he gets real upset about that for a while. And it ends with him getting convicted of cannibalism, and that brings a fresh new song.
Is that the priest that got convicted of cannibalism? Because
No.
You said he killed a lot of the people.
No, Packer is the one that gets convicted.
Packer's the
because he
one. Okay.
kills the priest.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So he gets convicted. Which starts a fresh new song, "Hang the Bastard," where it's all about them going to the hanging day. And he's about to be hanged when the reporter comes back and gets a stay of execution because it turns out that the crimes that he committed were before Colorado became a state and was still a territory, and therefore nothing that happened was illegal.
Damn. Okay.
And then right as the movie is right as he's about to kiss her after because the trapper is still gonna hang him, but then Chief shows up with a samurai sword and cuts him down.
Traditional weapon.
From the Indians.
Yes. And just as they're about to kiss to end the movie, the preacher comes back to attack them.
What?
Yeah.
Like zombie form or what?
And then I guess technically a zombie form, but he's because when he's attacking him, he dies 4 separate times. Like he killed the first time he puts a butcher's knife in his face, like. The guy falls over and he's about to start into a song, and as he's about to start in the song, the guy jumps up and attacks him again, and so he kills him a couple more times, and then he waits, and they play the crescendo music for him getting back up 4 times to him check, and then he starts into a song. Actually, he doesn't sing a song there, but he finally kind of just ends.
Okay. Charlie, how about you? Why do you like this movie so much?
So I think, and this is gonna sound dumb and not real, but I mean it, that this movie has a lot of good moments in it, and I do think it's a lot smarter than people would give it credit for. And John Cena's character has a lot of moments that you wouldn't expect from a movie like this. Like there's a full-on scene where he's talking to his partner that didn't do much in the beginning to help him catch Miles, but he's like, "Hey, we're detectives. This is awesome," and he's talking about how he doesn't quite feel right about it because he doesn't feel like he really deserved it because it was just happenstance. Right time, right place. He didn't show any detective skills in the process of catching him. He didn't even know who it was. He just happened to be there at the time. Whereas the other dude's like, who gives a shit? This is awesome. I'm getting laid because of it. But he's kind of struggling with that. So I thought that there are lots of moments like that. And his wife, they show some scenes with their marriage, and it isn't perfect. There are some issues and stuff. So just things where in a movie like this you would think it'd just be like, oh, they have the perfect marriage and he's the best cop and things like that. They actually develop these characters somewhat.
I'll interject. I know it's me kind of plussing
He's
your
a Marine.
Your movie. No, I would say that I think that John Cena's first acting outing, which was the Marine, he did a better job than The Rock's first acting outing, which I'll say is Scorpion King, not Mummy 2 or whatever. I think that I don't know if I ever finished Scorpion King because he was pretty rough.
I saw it in theaters.
You can just press start to skip the cutscene.
That's in the Mummy when he's half whatever.
Half Scorpion.
Yeah,
because he's
but
the
no,
Scorpion
I mean,
King.
Yeah, John Cena wasn't as the Marine. No, in the Marine. I remember. I mean, before Charlie, you and I were even really friends, I had seen the Marine.
Yeah, well,
duh. And I watched that all the way through.
Yeah.
Whereas, and to put it in context, I watched the Marine with my dad, but beforehand we had tried to watch Scorpion King. I don't even know if either of us got through it all. And now, I mean, The Rock's who he is. I mean, he's fucking great. He's charismatic, but he definitely had as far as his non-wrestling acting career, had a lot rougher start, in my opinion, than John Cena, where John Cena has the Marine 12 Rounds, and then he's got these other kind of co-starring roles in movies like Trainwreck, Sisters.
He was great in that.
He was hilarious in Trainwreck.
Yeah, and he was
LeBron James was real good.
Oh, dude, and he was and he was hilarious in Sisters. He's selling drugs, and there's do you have any kids? And he's like, I don't know. It's stuff like that, and
he's great in the last 30 seconds of Daddy's Home.
Yeah, Daddy's Home, where he just shows up and he takes off his helmet as John Cena, and Mark Wahlberg's trying to be cool to John Cena. I think Will Ferrell says his legs are as big as his triceps or something like that, and then John Cena just walks up and Mark Wahlberg tries to introduce himself and he's like, and just hands him his motorcycle helmet and keeps walking. Yeah, no, he's great for. I think at this point he's fallen into that almost John Cena stereotype, if that makes sense.
He's gonna break away with this Disney movie coming up.
Well, he's pretty much he's almost.
It's a voice role.
Oh. Okay, I was gonna say in live action he's almost kind of typecast as him. People are like, oh, play this big dude that is intimidating and
just once he wants to not be wearing jean shorts.
But remember, yeah, right. But remember, his character in Trainwreck really wasn't that. He was pissed off.
I've never seen Trainwreck.
He was pissed off in the theater, but then he plays kind of a dude that is really vulnerable and
And some-
like some weird
Yeah.
shit in bed.
Well, see, I still feel like that falls into
Clearly
like
gay.
the.
Yes.
I was gonna say I think that
well,
falls.
I'm not saying
in-
that's weird, but like
Yeah,
in the
no, but,
context
like,
of the scene, it's
I
very
think that
weird.
still kind of falls into the John Cena stereotype of himself, where like some
Because
people
he
will
can
probably
play anything.
Well, probably because some people will probably be like, "Oh, I bet you John Cena's actually like this," and like he's just a little like he's not intimidating at all, and he's actually like. So I feel like in Trainwreck,
Gay?
yeah, well, sure, whatever. Yeah, and,
he's
like
just-
he's closeted or something like
Yeah.
that. So like in Trainwreck, they use that like other type of like people who hate on John Cena, and he just plays that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and even in that, it's like hard to hate on somebody who,
But at least,
Like,
like,
at least he's
yeah,
still
who
playing.
and pulls
I could-
and does it, and he's just like, yeah,
he's
sure.
still playing
I'm-
different versions of that.
No,
then,
that's
though,
what
I
I'm
guess.
saying. Like
Okay.
but I'm saying he's good at it, and he's
Okay.
totally embraced it at this
Gotcha.
point. He's like, yeah, this is what I do, and I'm good at doing this, and I can pull it off.
Yeah.
So how did your movie wrap
Hold on,
up?
Amy's and
hold on.
Howard the Duck.
So there are all these different rounds and stuff. And it's like one of them, basically Miles will call him and say like, hey, there's a phone in this location. You got to get to it. And one of them,
Sounds like a GTA
it's
mission.
No, it sounds
You
like
gotta
just a
go bowling.
No, it sounds like a really extended version of Die Hard with a Vengeance.
so, hold on.
It was the same director.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
says in the
awesome.
trailer.
Samuel Jackson. In it?
No, Die Hard 2 is not the
Yeah,
same as Die
you're
Hard
right,
with a
you're right,
Vengeance.
you're right.
It's the
Yeah,
same
I was
director.
gonna- I was gonna say.
rounds.
Well, it's Samuel Jackson in it.
Maybe. So like one of them, he has to do his firefighter stuff and go to a building and find these safety boxes. Another one, there's a trolley flying down this road, and the only way they can stop it is to cut the brakes and cut the power going to it. Let's see.
Well, what
else is
are cutting the brakes going to do if it's flying?
or not cutting the brakes? That's what I mean. Cutting the power.
The
to
airfoils.
the turbines.
Hold on a second. So then another one, there was a bomb, so he had to evacuate this area and everything like that. So I won't go into all these rounds, but because there are a lot to go through and explain all of
there
them.
are
But
12.
I like that in the end. Do you want me to just spoil it for
Yeah.
you? Okay, so basically, Cena starts putting it all together. Everything that he's done, it's revealed that the dude. Miles doesn't give a fuck about his girlfriend, doesn't even hate John Cena's character at all. This is purely just another heist, and he's using that to get Cena to do all these things. Like the trolley thing, he had to crash the local substation. That shut down the power to this bank that he's robbing. The bomb threat evacuated everybody within a 3-mile radius. Let's see. There's a scene where he has to do something in an elevator, and a guy gets killed from that, and that guy, as that elevator crashes into the ground, then he gets the ID badge that he needs because that guy moonlights as the security guy for the bank, so he gets a badge from him, and it busts open a water line where he then takes the money that he steals.
And he surfs down the
No,
water.
but he flushes all
This
the
is
money through the water
or
system.
not exactly Die Hard with a
wow.
Vengeance, but
Parts of
it's
it, but I mean,
it's like
every,
Die Hard with a Vengeance, to the nth
Yeah,
degree.
it's like every single
Yeah.
thing. So
well,
then
to the 12th degree.
So all the power's out. So he's like, well, how does he move the money? And it shows him putting all the money into the water line. And then there's a scene earlier where John Cena is driving a fire truck through the city and crashing it all around and stuff. And he just leaves it there. Miles ends up getting that and then taking that to the local water pickup line, hooking up the truck, filling the truck full of the moneyed water. And then it's just
the moneyed water.
well, everything. I mean, you could.
No,
just
I
put a
know what
bunch
you
of water-
mean, but it's
I
still
don't know,
funny.
The water with the money. in
It's
it.
funny to think that that's the
I
plan,
honestly,
a good plan.
I honestly didn't even. It is Die Hard 3, but with 9 more.
Yep.
and John Cena.
Yeah, Jesus.
So-
and I've seen both of those movies. That is.
But I just thought it was funny that he doesn't give a shit about John Cena. He's like, the only reason I stole your girlfriend is then to get you to do this, and while you're doing all this stuff, I can actually get my heist, and it's all about the money. I have no personal grudge against you. That was just some chick
just
that I was
a
sleeping
good
with. That wasn't
story.
my
And then he
wife or
said,
anything. I don't care about that.
Because cash rules everything around me. Cream. Get
No.
the money.
Dollar,
There is
bill.
a scene on the bus where he confronts John Cena, but his wife's there with a bomb on her chest, so he's like, "You're not going to attack me or
Oh,
anything."
that was funny.
and that's the battle of wits where he's going back and forth with John Cena, and he eventually outsmarts him, so John Cena just goes, "Fuck you," and it was just funny for him to go, "Oh, real clever," just to John Cena's face, and he could just beat his ass, but he's got a dead man switch on the wife's bomb.
And he's CIA.
Well, yeah, that too. So I just think that the movie's a lot smarter than people give it credit for.
Okay.
there's a lot of funny scenes, some intentional, some unintentional, but I really like him anyway. Like in the elevator, he's up there with the security guard, who's this very large guy. He's probably another wrestler. He kind of almost looked like Rikishi. I don't know if you're familiar or not, but a very large individual. And he tells him, like, hey, you've got 30 seconds, and if you don't get out this elevator, I'm going to cut the lines, and it'll fall to the ground. So John Cena clearly jumps up in, like, 2 seconds and gets out, but then he has to help this dude up. And in the video message for Miles, he's like, what does he say? I have it written down, the exact phrasing. Willie's unfortunate girth might make it difficult to lift him out of the elevator. So he's lifting. He's John Cena, so he's svelte as fuck, and he's able to lift this guy out. So they're on top of the elevator now. It's like a freight one, so it's a big cage. Yeah. And he's like, all right, we got to hop on the walls now. And the dude's like, what? I thought we were out. And he's like, no, you're just on top of the elevator. If it falls, you're still dead. And he's like, but my back hurts. And he's like, you got to jump. And he doesn't even try and get up. And the thing just cuts and he falls to the ground. But another one of the things later revealed is that it had a security camera in it. He had 30 seconds to save him, and he pulled it at like 27 seconds because he was never even giving him a chance anyway. It's just he needed that to then bust all the other
because
stuff
Willie
to throw them all off, though.
All because Willie had that huge penis. Unfortunate girth.
Unfortunate girth. Oh, so at the end, there's a helicopter fight.
John Cena
in
was
midair.
like, it's not unfortunate.
There's a helicopter fight above a skyscraper, and John Cena is fighting him. And John Cena gets shot like 2 times in the fight. He gets hit with the AED or whatever, the shock paddles,
AED.
the old school ones, and he just like fights through it.
I thought you were talking about a gun.
No, I thought he was talking about like an
I was like an
IED.
AR-12.
No. I'll punch you with a bomb.
That's why I was confused.
So the helicopter's going down, and they're like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? And then he's like, I've got one more trick for you, Donnie. And
round 13?
He's got, I think he might have
bonus rounds?
He might even actually call it that. Yeah, he says final round. And he's got the dead man switch now from the bomb from earlier that he got his wife to escape out of. So he lets that go and throws the thing out of the window. So there's 30 seconds till it blows up. So they jump out of the helicopter into the hotel pool and get out and walk by the couple in the jacuzzi and John Cena. They're looking at him like, holy shit. And there's all this money raining down from the sky. And John Cena just goes, helicopter explosion. No big deal. He just keeps walking by. And it's so fucking cool. And then that's the end of the movie.
All right, Tyler.
And he gets his shit blown up. They show his face like it blow up.
Tyler, what about you? What is this movie got that has a spot in your heart for you?
Well, I will say first off, I know everybody talked about endings, so I'll just throw out the ending real quick because I feel like I talked about everything up until like the very end. So obviously, I mean, Howard decides at the end of the day to destroy the interdimensional thing, but it turns out that one of the creatures got through, so then they had to destroy that creature.
What's that Reed Richards thing called? The nullifier or something?
Yeah,
just call it that.
Yeah, sure, the nullifier, whatever. And I would, and that actually goes into one of the like weird small things that makes me love this movie because it's a scene with Howard picking. I mean, Charlie, I'm sure you remember this, where he picks up the gun to the thing that destroys
like
either
the
the creature,
whatever.
either the creature or the machine. And it was a gun that was on the back of like a vehicle, and he picks this up, and it's just so like. I mean, I think it's supposed to be goofy looking because it is. I mean, it's a huge
goddamn movie.
It's a huge thing, and Howard's just holding this, aiming it at. He's like, "Alrighty, buddy," and so I mean, it ends with him, obviously deciding to stay and all that stuff. And one of the things that I honestly believe that I saw this movie before I got into the character, and I know that. At least Charlie.
Annoyingly so.
At least Charlie and Steve both can attest that I love this character.
What does the movie actually end with, though?
What do you mean?
The song.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because then
Come on,
then it cuts to them at a Beverly's band is actually booked at this like a real gig, like a real venue, not just a bar or something like that. And they get Howard on stage and they sing a song that they wrote about Howard, and it's the song that I was actually singing before we started recording. We're like, Howard, the duck, and he's playing guitar with Hillary, and they're like doing this. I don't know. It's pretty funny.
Hillary again?
God damn it, Beverly. I don't know any Beverlys. I've known a Hillary before. She was my old landlord.
I don't know.
Anyway, but
Landlord Kevin used to be named Hillary?
no, back when he was roommate Kevin, we had landlord Hillary. But even in this movie, I still feel like Howard himself is like self-aware, and that kind of helped me. Like, I don't know. I started diving into this character for some reason after this movie, and it's one of those things that I'll admit the character itself was like kind of an ironic like at first, but then I mean I legitimately like the character. I think this movie's not. I think it's good. Like at the end of the day, it's not as. At least it's not as bad as everybody says. I think that's what we're all defending anyway.
I mean,
but,
Howard the Duck is like people talk about it like it's the worst thing in the universe.
Exactly. But I just love how he's so disconnected because he's just like, I don't care. And I think there's even later down the line, you know, we found out because Charlie, you've been a big Deadpool guy for a while, and there's actually a comic where Deadpool says to Howard, Howard says to Deadpool, he's like, you know, I was you before you, right? Because in a way, like, because he's just self-aware, just because he is this character from out of the planet, and he's just like, I don't care, like, what is going on? You realize you're all ridiculous. Like, this is and there's something about that that's even portrayed in the movie, whether or not it's an exact adaptation of his character, it still comes across where it's funny and it's goofy, and it's just like he's just like, I don't give a shit, like, I'm just trying to live my life, and now I'm living on this weird fucking planet, and honestly, he's
just a duck trying to make a buck.
Well, honestly, I feel like it's almost as if a human ended up in a duck planet, like that human would be how Howard is.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'd be ruling that.
But then there's also a scene I didn't talk about when he's trying to find a job. He goes to like an unemployment office, and first off, he's trying to like to not look like a duck, I guess. I don't know, but he's dressed so ridiculously.
The classic trench coat fedora.
No. No, that's that one dude from that guy walking the streets in Fantastic Four was wearing the trailer. Yeah, I don't. That was a weird scene in Fantastic Four where they just showed a dude walking the streets in a trench coat and fedora trying to talk to somebody that the Thing used to date or was married to or something.
Yeah, and he was with that gangster with the gray skin. It was weird.
Yeah, I never understood that. Somebody once tried to tell me it was the Thing, and I was like, no, dude, it looked nothing like him. Did you see the trench coat and fedora? Anyway, no, he's wearing like sunglasses and like a beret and like a jacket and like some, but the thing is
stuff to make you.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, he's still a duck. Like he's sitting there on a chair, and his fucking flippers are like, and this lady just does not give a fuck. She's like, I've seen your type before. You don't want to work. You're just trying to like not have a job. And then she's like, you dress up like a weirdo. And he's like, oh, and she's like, no, I'm gonna find you a job. Like I'm making a point. And he's just like, what? I'm getting accosted. I don't know what I'm doing. There's another scene where they're like trying to take off his duck suit at the the precinct, all that stuff. I don't know.
The classic. Yeah. The classic. Oh, this is a really good suit.
Yeah.
And they end up fully degloving him.
Deducking him.
Yeah.
Oh, like he I don't know. It's charming to say. I don't know. I think that's the only word I can think of that describes it. At least that character and how it works. And I have a good time watching it.
Cool. And then I did have one final question because I do love the pizza topping question. So
is that a Charlie or Steve question?
That's Charlie. That originated with
Charlie.
Okay. Okay. No, fair enough. I actually kind of like that, bringing in a typical question from the cast.
All right. And then we'll actually start with Charlie for that one.
So can you reiterate the question?
So if your movie were a pizza, what kind of toppings would it have?
Oh man. We haven't done this one in so long. I gotta think about this.
It's because we've had a good little stint of guest hosts.
If anybody else wants to go. go for it.
We haven't even.
Or-
Well, I'm in the middle of trying to stall for you, so you can think.
I'm gonna need more
but-
time than that.
Oh man. All right. Well, I
I mean,
guess.
Tyler, do you just want to go? What's your?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I'll go with the easy answer of anchovies. Because he's a duck and he eats fish, I guess. Do ducks eat fish? I don't know. Actually, just a plain pizza because
do.
ducks love bread.
There you go.
There's no cheese on
No
it.
cheese or sauce, just
I got it.
bread.
So
He's
mine-
just gonna side of garlic bread.
I like anchovy pizza a lot.
Same.
That's what you got, Charlie.
So mine would be served at like a really, really trendy restaurant. You know how they have like even like air bars now or like whatever the new hip trends are. So you'd get served a dish with what appears
shit,
to be
you get
nothing,
served?
with what appears to be nothing on it. So you can't see the pizza. The only way to do it is to do some little Cajun spices, New Orleans themed, and then you see that
Some
floating above your
Zatarain's?
pizza, and then that's how you see your pizza to eat it. And you can't see it.
Damn. All right.
Charlie's answers are always so good for these fucking questions.
not to be a hater, but I don't think that was as good as any of his past ones, I guess.
That doesn't mean it's not a good one.
No,
though.
fair enough.
No,
I guess
no.
I'm comparing
Sorry,
it
it
to
wasn't as
past.
good as my other
Yeah,
old good stuff.
I was gonna say, I guess I'm comparing it to masterpieces.
All right.
Nothing
then.
beats now
Steve,
you can
how
see me
about
too.
you?
I mean, I know the easy answer is
what I
human
was comparing.
flesh.
Man, I love
But
that
I'm-
on my pizza.
But I'm gonna go with lamb because there's when they run into the Cyclops.
Oh, okay.
When they run into the Cyclops, they do this joke like they're walking along and they see this little lamb and they're like sweet as sheep and the character who plays Squeak in basketball,
A little bitch.
yeah, little bitch. He's like, oh, sweet. And he starts undoing his pants. And the entire time in this movie, he's talking about how he needs to lose his virginity and meet a woman. And they're like, no, to eat. He's like, yeah, I know. I got to piss. But then that's where they meet the Cyclops. And that's the last food that they could have had that wasn't human flesh.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go into a joke about how also, like you said, a lamb, and then me being the lamb on the pizza topping
No.
or something. Because okay, I thought I was gonna work
No.
into it like a double
No.
joke.
I thought you could have done something with sushi. It's like traditional Indian cuisine.
They do talk about plenty of things from there's a song by the Trappers and they talk about parts of animals there. I could have used those.
Trappa
but
the
I
Rapper?
I decided to not go there.
Gotcha.
All right.
Thanks for letting
No.
us know where you
Parappa
didn't
the
go.
Rapper.
Yeah, that's kind of where my joke stemmed from. Trappa.
I guess we're on to final judgments then.
Yeah, go
Yeah, I
for it.
guess,
Go
dude.
for it, man. I mean,
Man. I know these are movies you were all passionate
I was
about.
gonna say, I feel like it makes it a little more difficult because you know that we all legitimately like these
I know.
movies. Like you
Like
know,
these are all real thoughts.
You-
Like
you-
every thought has been real thoughts.
you know that we're not faking.
I know.
Like, that's that. So I feel like it makes it a little bit more hard to be like, wait, well, okay. I mean, well, Tyler's, but I think he's being truthful.
Honestly, I'd have to go with 12
AVP.
rounds.
Oh.
I'd have to go with 12 rounds.
I knew it from the get go. I knew it would. I was thinking either 12 rounds because it's 12 rounds, or Cannibal the Musical just because it sounds so, because it's Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
I do want to watch that,
and it's
though.
and it sounds
I've heard
so.
so
I
much
have it
about
on
that.
DVD.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's I think that one sounds, that would be more of a like interest peak kind of thing. It's like, okay, hey, wait, I like Matt Stone and
Honestly,
Trey
if
Parker.
I had to call it, like, I would have gone with Howard the Duck in second place. But like,
Damn.
you just really
I think
sold
that's
it.
I
But,
think
like,
it's the first time that's ever been said about Howard the Duck ever.
Charlie just really sold me on this movie.
He
and
didn't
just,
have
like,
to.
It's 12.
I'm not
done.
gonna. I'm not gonna lie. 12 rounds is awesome.
Yes, and when I finished it, I forgot about that twist at the end. Not really a twist, but a full explanation why he does it. It's like, man, I forgot the story for this is way better than the Marine. I still like the Marine better as a viewing experience,
the Marine-
but the
yeah.
story is better in 12 rounds.
Fair enough, yeah,
Because the
it's
Marine
more-
story is somebody kidnaps his wife, which is the same in 12 rounds, but then he's just chasing them down to a house and it blows
Yeah,
up.
no, the whole, like, yeah, I wasn't really, like, holding a grudge against you. It was just, I needed you to do my dirty work.
And they actually
I was like,
develop
that's-
his character.
That's great.
Like with his partner and everything. His partner does get blown up by an indoor landmine and calls somebody a bitch in the second before it blows up, which is awesome.
Was his partner Aaron Paul?
No.
So do you want to? I guess now that so 12 rounds wins. So I guess now we're going into why we, not real thoughts, which we discussed earlier. Now it's going to be
Why this movie could be perceived as bad.
Exactly. And then I think that we can go one per, and then I'll go into the Rotten Tomatoes stuff after each person. So who do you want to hear from first?
We'll go ahead and hear from Steve first.
Okay, so like you said, Tyler, I think this movie has a lot of influences from like Mel Brooks, and I think there's the people that just will not like anything that Trey Parker and Matt Stone do because of South Park. And it's got that like Mel Brooks plus vulgarity from like South Park. There's
all their projects have a similar stamp.
Yeah.
So if you don't like any of them, you don't like. If you don't like one of them, you don't like any of them.
But this one there's a lot. It's a lot more subtle. Like one of the guys refuses to eat his shoe because you put your feet in shoes, and then later he's eating the foot of the guy the first time, and like it's things like that like you might not catch. And there's a lot of like little tiny jokes throughout the movie that I think are really funny, but not everybody thinks are funny.
Gotcha.
And then there's the vulgarity of when he fights the trapper at the very end, he gets a vision from the chief to like remember his training, and he proceeds to just only strike the dude's nuts. It's just like it's like a 30-second fight scene of him like a bunch of punches and kicks and elbows and a headbutt of just like all of them hitting that dude's crotch.
I don't know why you didn't bring that up before.
Yeah, no,
it's hilarious.
You would have won.
I felt like I was going too long, so I kind of reined it because like it's like I said, it's a movie that doesn't lend itself to be talked about. Like it's a lot of these jokes that kind of hit and hit and hit, but me explaining to them don't work. But
bless you.
But like when it comes to people, it's just like it's vulgar, it's ridiculous, and some people just don't like that, and that's fine.
All right.
Steve, remember Surf Ninjas. If somebody gets hurt a lot in your movie, you should bring it up.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Steve, I wanna say though, are those legitimately the only things you think that people will hate on it for?
I mean,
is the vulgarity and like how some of the jokes may be too subtle?
and it doesn't help that it's making fun. Like, I don't think people understand that it's like actually a parody of the musical genre. At times, like it's poking fun at it, but at the same time, it's one of those things that you almost feel like they were really trying to make a musical.
So it's almost too satirical for its own good.
Yes.
Okay.
When was this made too? Because
it like early 90s. Like
it looked like the whole thing's on a camcorder.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it was what they did in film school.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So like they were probably using like real bad equipment, and I mean
Gotcha.
that probably doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Um,
Production quality and all that.
but it rotted on shelves until they could put the sticker that says "From the creators of South Park" on it. Like it was literally unsellable until that happened.
All right.
Well, okay, so to the Rotten Tomatoes score, first of all, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's called Cannibal the Musical, parentheses, Alfred Packard the musical, in parentheses. 96 is when this came out, so I actually think this is yours is newer than 96, so it's the middle ground.
Mine was 2008, I think.
It's this movie is at 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. 5.3 out of 10 is the average score, average rating. There's only 16 reviews counted, 9 fresh, 7 rotten.
And some of the jokes might also be too obvious. Like they do a lot of just like jokes that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll read some of these here, Steve. See if you agree with any. We got scattershot, unfocused, and simply not all that funny. That's obviously a rotten review.
I mean, aside from the funny part, I mean, I can see where that comes from.
And here's a fresh review that's just, we are talking about one sweet movie over here. We got early college film effort from South Park creators is very definition of sophomoric. I mean, that's kind of dumb.
That's just that's like what I'm talking about. Like because I've heard people refer to Mel Brooks as sophomoric too, and that's kind of like that style plus the more vulgarity makes it definitely people.
Plus, these guys haven't refined their skills yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, since there's not a whole lot of them, I'll just read this one last positive review. We got best enjoyed on DVD as the alcohol-fueled commentary track might just be the best one ever recorded, which what you were saying earlier, Steve.
Yeah.
That's
where he like constantly breaks down over this whole girl situation.
Yeah. So that's the score for Steve we got there. Who do you want to hear from next, Garrett?
We'll go around the table here.
Alrighty,
Charlie.
yeah, sounds good.
A lot of people are gonna write this off because it's John Cena, because it's a WWE film. Most WWE films are pretty shit, but
And I want to point out that the Marine had 3 sequels. So there's 2, 3, and 4.
so
Marine.
did 12 rounds.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, there's 12
Well-
rounds 2, and then 12 rounds 3 something. I don't remember.
Well, and
Seriously?
then no, who was in both the Marine 2 and 12 rounds 2?
Randy Orton probably. St. Louis's own.
Randy
Hazelwood's
Orton
own.
was the star of both the Marine 2 and 12 rounds 2.
There we go.
Sorry to
No, I
Bring
mean
up
it's
your
it's
yeah.
important information to bring up. So yeah, I mean, they're
Anytime
just
we
gonna
can talk
write
about
up-
the RKO.
they're gonna write off just
Out of
because it looks
nowhere.
like a dumb action movie. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. But I also really like John Cena. I don't watch wrestling, but I don't know. I just think that's a cool ass dude.
And the fact that he has his own subreddit, which is completely mismatched with
Are you
another
talking about
subreddit.
potato?
Yeah. Our potato salad
Yeah,
and
potatoes.
our John Cena.
And he's like the #1 person for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like,
Yes.
as a single person, not like group
Not like
entity.
an entity.
He's
Yeah.
made the most wishes.
Yeah,
come true.
didn't he like come again? I almost know nothing about WWE
Yeah.
wrestling. Isn't he pretty much like, at least he was like a god in the WWE? Like he couldn't be beat. Like everybody tried. Like he came in and he
he's
just
definitely one of the superstars.
yeah.
Like,
Well, no, for a while. I mean, for a while when he first came in, he just beat everybody, and he would always just win. And that's why it's like
I mean,
dun, dun, dun,
it's a
dun.
three-step program.
And
Hustle,
the- and
loyalty,
he-
respect.
Well, and that's why people
He
like
made his
hated
own
him
theme
so much
song.
when he was as big as he was, because he just always won.
Yeah, I think he even became like a villain more or less eventually because he was just like
Undefeated.
Yeah,
God
so-
level a
So-
wrestler.
Shazam level wrestler.
Yeah, exactly, motherfucker.
So you think that the only reason people dislike is John Cena? And
No, but that they see that and they see that it's from like a lower budget
They just kinda
production
write it
company,
off.
just like it's just a C movie or whatever.
so you think it's one of those movies people go into thinking like, oh man, this is gonna be stupid,
Probably.
and so then they already have the preconceived notion. And
You
so
know,
they-
actually, I bet a lot of the people that watch it, though, other than critics, are going to be people that are seeking this out anyway. I
Because
doubt
they
there are
like
that
John
many
Cena.
people that. It looks from the outside, it looks kind of bland. So I would think that most people wouldn't even watch it anyway if they saw it, and they probably wouldn't even go into it thinking like, "Oh, this is going to be stupid, kind of funny or something." I mean, dude, it does have a huge fan base. So it's mainly, I would think, people that are going to go into it wanting to see that and enjoying it. But I don't know.
So I before I go into this, I want to point out that Steve, Cannibal the musical didn't have a critics consensus because I don't think it had enough reviews.
Right.
That's why I didn't read one. But 12 Rounds is at a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has an average rating of 4.4 out of 10.
Yeah.
70 reviews, 20 fresh, 50 rotten. Critics consensus on this is energetic but empty. 12 Rounds' preposterous plot hurtles along at a rapid pace but can't disguise the derivative script.
I like the pace personally because as soon as you get to that house blowing up, I mean, it's game on for the rest of the movie. It does not stop.
I think
But
that
it's
might
not
be
like-
the problem with
No,
that.
but it's not to the point where there are still moments to breathe.
Okay.
Like the slow moment on the bus is like there's no action; it's just a conversation between the two, and it's pretty slow paced because the dude has all
I mean,
the power and
I
stuff.
could
so.
see people being like, 12 was too many. We should cut it down to 8.
Yeah, but it's like the boxing and shit. So
I know. I know what they-
Heavy on stunts but light on plausibility, humor,
Yeah, right.
surprise,
They must not know who he is.
humor, surprise, visual ingenuity, or psychological depth.
Who's that by? Ray Charles?
12 Rounds is an occasionally exciting but always empty action movie experience. As fast food action director Rennie Harlan as a fast food director, As a fast food action director, Rennie Harlan still delivers a fun movie.
Yeah.
Um,
And I bet too a lot of those critics that are saying that's completely empty. I wouldn't be surprised if they were already totally checked out by the end of the movie
yeah.
and would have written it off within like the first third, that then wouldn't pay attention to any of the rest of it, any of the detail put into it too.
A decent action movie that could have been a great one.
Greater. Sure.
And then I'll do one more fresh one. That last one was rotten. This is fresh though. A very satisfying and well-made action thriller that could only be improved if Arnold Schwarzenegger was the star.
I mean, he could have been too, I guess, but
He could have
I
been
per-
two. So Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Cena.
Yeah.
Oh
He
shit!
has a
then
partner in the
yes,
movie.
that would have been improved.
Stuck on you two.
No,
He said
twin.
hopefully.
The twin.
the whole band.
Yeah, was it the twin or was it just twins?
Twins.
Yeah, twins.
Just twins.
Yeah.
No, but it doesn't work because the point of twins
because
is
they're
that
both
there's-
huge.
No. Yeah, because in twins, the point is that there's the reject twin. Like all the good of two people went into one person, resulting
Yes.
in Danny DeVito.
You're right. It should have just been the one where
Dude.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was pregnant.
Don't forget, Twins 3 is coming out. Triplets.
Is that really happening?
Yes.
Wait, was there a sequel to Twins?
Well, no, I guess it's a follow-up to it, but it's called
Triplets.
Triplets.
Because
Oh, okay. I was
isn't
gonna
Eddie
say, I
Murphy
was
being
like-
the
Yes.
third twin?
Yes.
Wait, he's
Which
still.
is-
I thought he. I assume by
This
now
is
he
like
quit
his,
acting.
This is like his thing.
He
to
said
come
it was
back,
1,000
apparently.
words and he got out.
No.
Dude, how fucking funny is that, though?
Dude.
My joke, I agree.
Sure, but I don't know. The movie poster alone might be worth buying if it's like the original one, but
Yeah.
then with also Eddie Murphy being another sibling.
Is it Arnold and Danny DeVito
Yes.
again?
I'm imagining Eddie Murphy. Like the poster is the same poster, but with Eddie Murphy like peeking over Arnold
Yes.
Schwarzenegger's shoulder.
Oh my god.
I recently read somewhere that Arnold Schwarzenegger went to like a voice coach a long time ago and got rid of his accent, but he just he thought like he was like, people want this voice from me, so he just
Oh,
like
okay.
he
I
just
thought-
like
kept
undid
doing
it.
it.
He just
I
kept
thought,
going.
I thought you were gonna say. He said no. People want to hear California.
No, that's literally essentially what it is.
Wow.
So it's California, Mister. No,
California.
California.
but you're the governor, shouldn't you? California. So I guess we're now on to Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
This movie isn't good bad. I think it's awesome bad. I honestly I do see. I think it's kind of. I think part of it is similar to both Cannibal and 12 Rounds. I think that the fact that George Lucas's name was attached to this was
I was gonna say
I heard
the
it.
full hype train
Yeah.
around every aspect of this movie.
and the amount of money. Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head the amount, but I know you would be shocked the amount of them. If you saw this movie and
spent a
I
lot,
told you
or-
how much money went into this, you'd be like, "Holy shit, what?"
Well, the actors they had to pay
Becau-
for to play Howard the Duck.
Yeah, well, there were like 5 different actors. But because if you watch it without knowing the budget, the hype, or whatever, honestly, at the end of the day, it just seems like a normal, like cheesy '80s action movie kind of thing. I mean, even the special effects and stuff. But then afterwards, if I was like, oh yeah, also they spent this much money, also George Lucas produced it, you'd be like, wait, the guy who did Star Wars in the fucking '70s, and this looks like this.
Yeah.
Then you would be like, wow, this is shit. But and then one of the main things that I think, I mean. On rewatches, it's still hard because I have to remind myself. There's a point in the movie, the point where he reunites with Beverly and the machine backfires. It's around that section where you're like, oh man, they're about to wrap this up. And you look at the time, and there's still like an hour left in this movie. Like and it feels like the way it's paced. Because of the fact that there's like a divide between him and Beverly, you already feel this like get together, then conflict,
Wrap
then
it up.
resolution. That it really feels like this part should be the end, and then it just keeps going. So like and in that moment, you're like, wait, holy fuck, there's more. But also, if you know there's more, then it's easier to kind of be like, oh, okay, wait, shit, there's more. Oh, all right, there's more. Like, it's easier to kind of overcome.
Okay.
But I could see if I was in the theater watching that, I would be like, oh my God, how much more? Okay, it's got to be 10 minutes. What? It's got to be another 10 minutes, I guess. And then you're in there for another hour, you know, like it's because it's like yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would feel that way. Like, I mean, it's a 2-hour movie,
Yeah.
and after the first like hour 20, it feels like it should be wrapping up or something like that.
Okay.
And so that
Does
I feel
it drag in the second half, or does is it just weird because it feels like it's
Or is
over?
it just like a weird transition
I just think
point?
it's a weird transition point. I think
Okay.
it might drag in that transition point because of the way it's paced. It's just I think it's just poor writing.
Yeah,
and
but
the
because of that, it
placements.
kind of like it's hard to
It's-
break back into the movie.
Yeah, but it still does stuff that you're like, oh, okay, we still have, reason to keep going. We still have good little points. I mean, that scene of them in the restaurant is after that little break. And that scene of them in the restaurant, I think, Charlie, you watched that with me.
Was there a stranger
it's-
out to find them?
At a restaurant? Is that a joke that I'm not getting?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, I mean, a stranger didn't call. I don't know. That's another joke, I guess, when a stranger calls. Anyway, Charlie's nodding his head in approval. I mean, that restaurant scene, I think, is like, oh, and Garrett's popular.
It sounded like a truck horn in my ear.
It kind of did. We're getting hit. John Cena, help, save us.
Get the boats!
I've been like miming pulling an air horn this whole podcast. Finally, one drove out the window.
just waiting for a truck to go by.
Shit. I was way closer to that wall than I have been in past podcasts. I just hit my head. You may have heard it, you may not have. Anyway.
So pacing, transition.
Yeah, I would
points.
say pacing is kind of weird. It almost feels like two movies. The special effects, if you know that it's what it is, are bad. But if you're also like, wait, I'm just watching an 80s sci-fi movie, then you're like, they're almost. I feel like that time period, those special effects are almost kind of endearing because it's like you can tell it's green screen, but it's also like it all kind of looks.
To me, everything looks good. Honestly, and for the time, everything looks good except
Yeah.
for whenever they do lightning, like energy lightning
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
looks
yeah.
shit. But like his suit itself, I mean it's very creepy.
Everything hits expectations just to
I mean,
exceed
there's a
expectations.
scene that I think that they cut from other versions where like Beverly finds a little duck condom inside of his wallet, which is kind of weird, and she's like, "Oh, Howard," but it's not even in a wrapper; it's just a loose condom.
Manufacturing's real lax on the duck planet.
Haha, yes, I don't store mine like that. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. I'm in on the joke too. Ha ha ha.
There's stuff like that, and then I mean, really, that scene when she's coming on to him is quite uncomfortable. Like, even though I know on subsequent viewings that she's fucking with him, it's still really weird.
And did the actor inside that get a little boner there?
Probably. I mean, it can't be a big boner.
Depends on if we're talking in relative terms or not.
I'm not.
goodness.
Well, I mean, relative to me, yes, it'd be a big boner. But, but I mean, it's fun, except for that one spot. I think that anybody who watches that movie will have that spot where they're like, "Wait, this movie's still going."
Yeah.
But if you just embrace it, then you're just like, whatever. It's still, I still don't think it's. I don't know how to say this because I think all of us might feel this way because it's not good, but I still just think it's awesome.
It's enjoyable.
I have a great time with it. I've shown it to people, and they've enjoyed it. Like, even that stupid song at the end is, like, kind of catchy and fun.
I meant to...
And
my bad, cut it
No,
real
yeah,
quick.
go
I meant
ahead.
to mention something that you mentioned in the song. The theme in this, I noticed, it sounds like Trent Reznor stole for Gone Girl. Like, it really sounds like it was in this movie first, and then he stole a lot of the cues
Oh,
for
really?
that, for the Gone Girl theme in a few scenes.
Wait, Trent Reznor didn't do this song, or did you say Trent?
He did not.
yeah,
but
he's
he
saying
did the
he's
Gone Girl
because
one.
yeah, he
Gotcha.
he composed
Gotcha.
Gone Girl, so
Yeah.
he's saying
Which is
Trent
an awesome
Reznor
soundtrack.
watch.
I love that soundtrack.
Yeah,
No, I was just checking because when I went to Louisiana, we went on like this walking tour, and we went
it
by
was a Trent
Reznor's
Reznor.
house.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say it was a Trent Reznor tour, but apparently
No, it was a tour, and like there were multiple people on the tour to see Trent Reznor's
Gotcha.
house.
Yeah, and is that where they fed everybody on the tour?
No.
Oh, so nobody got a chance to bite the hands that fed them. Trent Reznor joke. Haha, got it in.
That was just a downward spiral there.
You mean
Oh,
You mean-
a much better Trent Reznor joke.
Damn it, I didn't get that.
That one flew
I was
over
gonna
for a second.
I was gonna say you mean an upward spiral. You must live in Australia or something like that, where it's reversed.
Fun story. He had a turret which had a upward spiral staircase.
That's not fun at all.
A machine gun turret would be cooler and also illegal.
Yeah.
I guess.
So Howard the Duck sits at the
What do you
lowest.
mean you guess?
Yeah, which part do you guess? That it's cooler or that
Both
it's
of
illegal?
them are quite clearly there's
Yeah.
absolute answers.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So Howard the Duck sits at a 15%. So the lowest out of the three.
Oh, wow.
And an average rating of 2.5 out of 10. 46 reviews counted, 7 fresh, 39 rotten. The consensus is, while it has its moments, Howard the Duck suffers from an uneven tone and mediocre performances. I wouldn't totally agree. I think Leah Thompson does great. So we have who. I went to this one first because it's only one quick sentence. Who was this stupid film made for? That's
Answer Tyler Lamb.
Yeah.
Exclusively Tyler.
I guess so. But then we got a positive one here: a fun and fast-paced piece of '80s schlock, which I don't know if I agree about the fast-paced part, but I think it's just fun '80s schlock.
Yeah.
Another positive. Reservations aside, it's hard to fault the tongue and bill. Oh God, the tongue and bill high spirits of a movie like Howard the Duck. The movie is too scuzzy to beguile children, too infantile to appeal to adults.
I get what they're trying to say.
No, that
Yeah.
person just wanted to use words that they're
But
like,
it's
Yeah.
definitely
people are looking this shit
it's
up.
definitely not for kids though.
Oh, definitely.
No, it's I don't think Howard the Duck the character.
I guess
for
if your
kids.
kid's a loser though too.
Yeah. Then fuck that kid. No, wait.
Full circle. Full circle.
Jeffrey Jones heard he signed on.
I didn't know they had Wi-Fi
We're
in prison.
we're never getting money from Monsanto ever again.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. So this other negative review is this is so fucking stupid. It's
the
like
duck
some
puns.
We're there
well,
with the
it's
duck
like-
puns.
Well, it's like some people like we've come across this a lot in these negative reviews on this podcast. It's like people are like, okay, how do I make this fucking funny? What
You
can
got
I
it written
make?
before
I gotta
they
make it
even go into
funnier
it.
than this movie.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's like they go into the movie. They're like, okay, I can say this. I can make this kind of joke. How do I? Oh, perfect. This guy says, in duck talk, it's a quacker, noisy and shrill. Well, that's not even fucking good. Like,
They just quack the talk, sir.
See, if it were me, I'd write a review and I'd put like, "Go see this movie because you'll have a cow."
Charlie's not beholden to your animals.
how about that though? If it was Howard the cow and he came from a cow planet. And he just,
The scenes where he
Chick-fil-A
wears
would've-
disguises would be way funnier.
Chick-fil-A would have already bought the rights to this character.
yeah, and he would be way bigger, and he
Holding that gun.
walking around way slower. Yes,
No,
And
he'd
that
be on.
sex scene could
he'd
be
be on-
very different.
Oh God.
that condom would have like 8.
Udders aren't penises.
I
Not in your world.
Yeah, not in-
Welcome to our reality.
Yeah. I was gonna say not in human world, maybe in cow planet. God,
Still no.
Still don't think that's
there's no bulls on this planet, Steve. It's all
Hey,
cows.
Steve, that doesn't mean they can't be used like them, though.
Yeah, you're telling me that females don't have
I am
condom-like
saying that-
things, like diaphragms or
Okay.
what are
But
other
the-
female condoms?
Isn't that when you put a little book scene in a shoebox?
The
I think it's where you're
the-
supposed to
the
breathe
udders-
if you're a singer.
the udders aren't the sex organs of a cow at all, though.
So this other rotten.
Steve doesn't know shit.
I know, dude. I'm just trying to ignore it. What can you say about a comedy?
Hurry up with those auditions.
what can you say about a comedy in which the biggest laugh is the end credits?
What?
Yep. What?
This movie is so bad. They couldn't.
Yeah, I know. What an asshole.
Was there a post-credit scene?
No.
What a crazy person you mean. That's not even mean to say. It's like
No, it's just another like him trying to be clever, but it
guess.
doesn't work, and he just makes himself look like more. Of
All right,
an
this
ass.
this person makes another stupid duck relation thing.
Thank God.
As the film shifts from drab duck out of water comedy to madcap chase caper, things modestly improve.
Ducks are fine out of water. that's
is
like
true.
a key feature of duck.
yes.
Anyway, those are all the reviews of all our movies. Do we have anything we want to touch on?
Thank you for
Other
stopping
than,
by, Garrett.
oh
yeah,
yeah,
no
Garrett,
problem.
Garrett,
Yeah,
it was
no problem.
awesome.
It was a pleasure
so,
to have you.
So Charlie won with 12 rounds, just to reiterate.
Yes.
Correct.
It was the extreme cut.
Well, shit, we had an unfair advantage to start
Was
with.
this really the extreme cut, or was it just the regular?
No, extreme cut.
How many
unrated.
X's was it spelled with?
Only one.
Oh.
I know.
Never mind.
It wasn't extreme.
Garrett retracts his.
Dave Muir
I was
took the other
I was
X's.
expecting the cut with Vin Diesel in it with triple X.
True.
So
True. He also could have been in this movie, I guess.
Oh man, that would have been amazing. I wouldn't have even talked about my movie if Vin Diesel was in 12 rounds. Like I would have probably just talked about 12 rounds as well. Jesus, oh god, John Cena and Vin Diesel, that's like a dream team.
Yeah. That's
And-
a lot of meat.
And you know the
More
Rock's gonna
ways
show
than-
up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like Vin Diesel can't be in a movie.
They must have like a wide angle lens or something.
Yeah, there's no way to capture that.
Charisma.
Yep. Other than that, so yeah, Garrett, you got something to plug? I'm sure because you're on a thing.
yeah, I mean, I guess we can plug some Three Wise Radio.
Mhm. Yeah.
New episodes every Tuesday. We just dropped one
Yeah,
2
currently
days
on
ago.
on the day this is
2 days ago, a week ago.
Well, also 2 days ago, the week
Oh,
this
yeah,
is coming
shit.
out.
Yeah.
Also that.
So by this point, you have 2 episodes to catch up on. Yeah. So go check out Three Wise Radio every Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's set in stone now. I know it's switched between days. So
it's been pretty consistently Tuesday. The only time it's ever not is if like
A
we have
point-
some sort of like technical issue, or if we've been doing a lot of 0.5 episodes.
Yeah,
recently
and I
where
know
it's,
I
like,
know very recently you had Brian from Good Bad or Bad Bad on a 0.5. Well, that
we were
was
talking
on.
about E3.
That's right. That's right. E3, and then also before that, you had Charlie on for Wonder Woman. So yeah, go check those out.
Yeah,
Those are
if we ever have a 0.5 episode, it comes out on Saturdays.
okay. Yeah.
So
And then if you wanna hear me, I don't know why you would on
You
any
don't.
of the Three Wise episodes. I have been consistently on the annuals, so I'm on 2 episodes for sure, and then I think one other episode was Batman v Superman.
So that episode you released 2 days ago is going to be about how you guys all saw Transformers and were completely moved by it, right? And you fell in love with it.
yeah,
Yeah, do you actually? I mean, I know this is currently of recording. Do you have an idea of what you might be talking about on the episode that will be coming out?
the week this one comes out,
Yes,
I think it will be Transformers.
it will be
Yeah,
Transformers.
we're going to be talking about
And how much you
Transformers
loved it.
and like Michael Bay.
Okay.
Thank God. More people need to talk about Michael Bay.
Well, just like
Exactly.
analyzing his life and career up
analyzing
to
this,
this point.
analyzing that.
The road thus far.
Okay. So yeah, go check them out. I will add. I think I mentioned it last episode. I'll add links to Facebook and probably iTunes or RSS feed or something. Steve, yeah, what's up?
If you're talking about Michael Bay, you should also talk about his Verizon commercial. Because it's amazing.
All right.
And also how he reuses shots from multiple movies. And
I'm fine with that too. But
Other-
the Verizon commercial is very self-aware and hilarious.
other than that, we just mentioned him a bit ago. Brian, Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. Check them out. I'll link them down in the description as well. And we mentioned them earlier. Beyond the Blast Doors, another friend of the cast / network, which is Three Wise. I will link their YouTube channel in the description. And other than that, I guess I'll throw our YouTube, the Three Wise YouTube channel in the description. And this is a full episode, so thanks to Jeremy Lamb for that theme song. It's
Yes.
always dope. Thanks to Scott for the logo. as always.
Yes.
Do we have anything else we want to shout out or give credit to? Steve, I feel like I always turn
Hell
to you
no.
for...
No, just once again, shout out to Michael Bell for introducing me first to this hidden gem of a movie.
All right, yeah, and as always, fuck that guy. And with that being said, bye.
I really like him.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.